So today I'm going to be comparing three different Olympus cameras: the Olympus E-M1 Mark II, the Olympus E-M10 Mark II, and the Pen F that's recording this right now. And what I wanted to test was basically the continuous autofocusing and image stabilization of the cameras. And also I put on the most common lenses that you'd probably get with these cameras. I'm going to be using the 14 to 42 kit lens that came with the E-M10 Mark II, and I'm going to be using a 12 to 40 f2.8 Pro lens with the E-M1 Mark II. And then when I put the Pen F on, I'm going to also be using the 12 to 40 f2.8 Pro with that. Because really, if you're thinking about any of these cameras, those are probably the lenses you're going to get for the camera anyway. So it'll be interesting to see if it's worth spending the extra money for the 12 to 40 Pro, or if you're going to be fine with just the kit lens when you're doing video work. And there's a ton of other variables, so I'm going to be very specific in this video. I'm only going to test for the image stabilization, and then you can just kind of look at the video and see if there's any differences in color or clarity, or the continuous focus action as well, if you notice any differences. And I'll make some comments as I go along when I take these back in and review them with you. So first thing I'm going to do is let me just tell you some of the basic settings I'm going to be using, and I'm going to try and eliminate as many variables as I can. So I have these cameras mounted on one of my flash brackets, and I'm just going to be hand holding them like this and just doing a walk around my car, and then walking out and then back in and then back to here, and then I'm going to swap cameras and do the same thing, and then swap cameras one more time and do it a third time, and then we'll take these back into the computer and take a look at them. And then as far as settings go, again, I'll be in full HD, which is the 1080p, 60p frame rate, auto ISO, and I'm going to be running an aperture priority and put both lenses at f8 and at a 25 millimeter focal length. So for white balance, I'm going to lock that in on cloudy, because it is kind of an overcast cloudy day, and it's really cold as well. But and I think that's about it in terms of settings. Continuous autofocus, of course, and that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and turn these cameras on and try and frame these up the best I can. Let's see. There, that looks about right. Oops. There. Okay. Let's just do a quick pre-focus and start recording. All right. We're good. Right now we're in image stabilization MIS1, which is digital image stabilization plus sensor shift stabilization combined. And we'll just do a quick walk around like that. And the ground here is very, very not level, I guess is the way to say it. A lot of it is because my dog, Allie over here, just a little bit off camera, likes to dig holes everywhere. And okay, so that's kind of me crab walking side to side. Let me walk backwards as stable as I can. And then let's walk forward. Walk backwards. Okay. A little bit of a crab walk. And there we have it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put both cameras into Stabilization MIS 2, which is sensor shift only. And I forgot to mention, I'm just using natural color profile 3, so nothing special there. Just the normal default mode. Let's go ahead and hit record and do another walk around. I'm going to walk forward. Walk backwards. Okay, so I'm going to swap out now this E-M1 or E-M10 Mark II with my Pen F, and I'm going to put this 14 to 42 onto the Pen F. Okay, so I have my Pen F set up now. Everything's the same, and we're going to start out with Image Stabilization 1, which is the digital plus the sensor shift. And I set everything the same, cloudy white balance, etc. Let's go ahead and fire these up and do our walk. Okay, let's walk forward. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and put these into image stabilization, sensor shift only. There, and make sure I'm pretty much framed the same, more or less. Okay. All right, we're good. Let's get started. Ready? Go. Good. Let's walk up to them. All right. Okay, now I have the Pen F with the 14-42 kit lens and the E-M10 Mark II with the 12-40 Pro, and we'll see if this lens helps this camera at all. Again, continuous autofocus, and we're going to start with image stabilization 1, which is the digital plus sensor shift. So let's go ahead and fire these up. And do a quick walk around. All right. It's interesting, you know, on the back of the screen, the Pen F looks a little cooler in color, even though I can see they're both in color profile 3. But we'll see. We'll see when we get back into the computer if there really is a difference, or if it's just the monitor. Okay, good. All right, very good. Let's just try sensor shift only. Okay, let's walk. All right, very good. Now I noticed that the color in the back of the Pen F looks a little bit cooler, a little bluer than the back of the screen on the E-M10. So I'm going to swap lenses and see if maybe that's what it is. I really doubt it. I think it's just the calibration of the screen, but let's see if I can do that real quick. Yeah, the Pen F still looks a little bit cooler But let me go ahead and just do one quick walk around. You know, even though these are both at 25mm, I have to adjust this one a little bit, 1 or 2 millimeters versus this one. But we'll do image stabilization, just sensor shift only. Just for one last test, just to see if there's a color difference. Okay, so let me go back into the house and put these files in and see how they look. Okay, sorry I got a little distracted, but I really have to make a note here that the 14-42 kit lens is definitely warmer than the 12-40 Pro. Because when I put the 12-40 Pro on all three cameras, the colors were a lot closer, with the E-M1 actually being a little warmer than the other two cameras. So I'll do a video on white balance later on, but this video is actually primarily about the image stabilization. And if you look at the E-M10 Mark II, this is where it really shines. I mean, it's amazing. It almost looks like it's on a gimbal here. And remember, I'm just hand holding this camera walking around. And if you look at the Pen F, it doesn't do a bad job. Definitely better than the E-M10. And if I was a little better at catwalking or holding the camera steady, we could probably get away with a very steady shot of my car. And the E-M10, there's no way I'd ever get a steady shot of my car handheld. So, and ironically, I use the E-M10 a lot for video, but it's always on a tripod or a slider or a gimbal. My last video, I used the E-M10 on a gimbal, and the shots came out, I think, pretty good, very steady. But yeah, handheld, yeah, it's not going to cut it. And remember, these are all 5-axis image stabilization cameras, but there's definitely been big improvements in the E-M1 Mark II. So that's pretty much it for this video. I'd like to hear your comments and what you think, and if you have any ideas for other videos you'd like to see, just let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more videos like this, so hopefully we'll see you again soon.